right, everybody, we got another very special guest for you all. I want everybody to welcome back to the show, Mr. Dalton Shannon. What's going on, Dalton?
Hey.
Oh, just in the middle of a nerve-wracking campaign, as they always are. It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I heard Kickstarter is the easiest thing ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you put the book up there, it funds itself, you go home for the day.
Yeah. No, people flock to the book. That's how it goes. Yeah. You don't have to worry about anything.
No, I don't even know why we're here.
That's why my nights are sleepless right now. It's great.
Well, I mean, Dalton's back here because he either forgot how awful we are, or we did some good for him last time. So either way, I think it's good for us that you're here.
Yeah, can't it be a little bit of both?
Yeah, just a mixture of both. A little shitty and a little good all at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, last time we were talking about Frankenstein, the Frankenstein book. I don't know if you want to give everyone just a quick update on where that is. That's funded now, right?
Yes, Frankenstein got super funded. Blew all expectations out of the water with that book. Our most successful campaign to date. That book is actually in the process of finishing touches. I think we've got a few pages left to color and letter, and then that gets shipped off to the printer. So before long, Frankenstein #2 is going to be hitting inboxes everywhere. So be on the lookout. We always send out updates through the Kickstarter constantly. So you guys should be aware as soon as that comes out. But it should be before long. Yeah.
Awesome. Can't wait to get my copies.
Yeah. That's why Chris agreed to the interview today, because he has you hostage now.
Yeah.
I just like to harass you creators for my books.
Yeah. No.
I get it. They'll get there, guys. They'll get there. You don't have to point the gun anymore. Okay. That's my wife. Okay. Please leave her alone.
No, I think you've been doing a great job with the updates. Like, I've been looking at them, and you're always like, well, these are the pages we're doing now. This is what's inked. This is what's color, Yeah. So I know you're pretty close. I think you were on page 20 or 21 last update.
Yes.
And it was,
We got the last of the inks from Mary just probably a week or two ago. So we have the full inks in. It's great. But yeah, with especially with stuff like crowdfunding, transparency is always the best policy. Is be as transparent as possible. People are trusting you to make a product, and we want to give them the best product we can. So those constant updates are just a part of that. Yeah.
Definitely.
And on the other side of it, because then we're going to talk about MechaTon having a lot finished up front before you start a campaign helps too, right? So let's talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So MechaTon issues 4 and 5 are currently running on Kickstarter right now. It's the end of the first arc of MechaTon, so you can get all 5 issues right now. Beginning to end, once the arc ends, it opens the door up for the next bit of the story. If you like mechs, kaiju, brother sister team ups against those said kaiju, it's all great fun. A glove falls from space, and the siblings find out that anything they punch turns into a giant robot. So it's a hot dog cart, it's a house, it's a police car, anything becomes a robot, and they use it to fight off kaiju, corporations, just any sort of bad guy that's trying to breathe down the neck of the local community. It's a ton of fun. It's a completely different vibe than Frankenstein, and yeah, we do have quite a bit of that book, of those 2 books already finished. In no small part because we're also working with Scout through their YA Scoot imprint. Issue #1 of MechaTon is coming to shops on March 29th. And then Scoot is going to be publishing the trade that collects the entire first arc. So having these last 2 issues like already loaded, so that when the campaign finishes, we just have to get those colors in, get those letters in, and then they start flying to inboxes. And then later in the year, we'll get that complete trade. Especially with a crowdfunder like Kickstarter, to have it already in the barrel, it's such a quick hopefully a quick process from art table to mailbox, and you guys will get to see it before long. It's so much fun. These last 2 issues are so everything you love about the first 3 issues gets cranked up to about a 9 or a 10 in these in 4 and 5.
So did I hear you right that Scout's going to be publishing issue 1 and then the trade, not issue 2 through 5?
Correct. Yeah. So so Scoot's publishing imprint, their publishing model is everyone buys issue 1 and everyone always buys the trade, but 2 through 5, those sales aren't always there. So they want to get everyone in the door with issue number 1, and then they'll have the trade there later for you if you want it. So the only way to really get floppies is through the Kickstarter. So if you're wanting to get 1 through 5 in floppy format, along with all the variant covers that comes with that and all the bonus stuff, the Kickstarter is the way to go. But if you're a trade collector, then that's going to be out for you, hopefully before the year's up.
That's an interesting approach.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting. I completely understand where they're coming from with that. I mean, especially working conventions with things like MechaTon and Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. We sell a ton of issue 1s of each of those series. And we sell a good, especially if somebody has never heard of the series and they want to get on the ground floor, we'll sell quite a few number 2s and 3s if they want to get the whole set. But those issue 1s sell like crazy because people just want to try it out. Mm-hmm. And if you're just going into your comic shop on a Wednesday, the most alluring thing on the shelf is going to be a number 1.
Yeah.
So you get them hooked to that number 1, and then you promise the rest of the story coming in 1 completely digestible trade paperback. I mean, I think that appeals to the whole gamut of comic readers.
Yeah, it appeals to me. I'll say this because I've the last probably 4 or 5 years now, I've gone all digital. But when I say I've gone all digital, but when something comes out that I really like from an artist or something, I'll buy the issue 1 of that series, even though I'm reading it digitally, and then typically I'll get a trade if I really like it after that. So that falls right in my wheelhouse.
Perfect.
I wonder if they have that metric too of people are reading stuff digitally, but also that's the pattern. They see people buying issue 1s and trades if they're still doing digital. But
yeah, I'm sure the correlation between digital readers and trade paperback readers, that Venn diagram might be closer to a circle than we think.
Yeah, that is. It's weird how we see the market changing over the last 10 years of how people do that.
Oh yeah, comics have completely flipped. The Wednesday Warrior is honestly the minority when it comes to reading comics. More kids than ever are reading comics, and it's because of things like book fairs and Barnes and Noble and the trade paperbacks, the graphic novels.
Well, I remember recently one of my favorite creators, Ed Brubaker, had that same issue where everybody was buying when he did Criminal. Everybody did Criminal number 1, and the rest of the series didn't sell. So that's why Reckless is just a graphic novel. He's just I'm going to get you for the whole gambit. You're going to buy the whole thing off me.
Yep. I mean, we're in an era where places like Netflix are dropping entire seasons. People want to have complete stories. I think we're slowly starting to see kind of a shift back towards episodic entertainment, especially when streamers like HBO are catching on that they can get our money longer if they release episodes week to week. And I think people are there's a bit of a feathers are a little rustled because they want the whole content right now, but now they're getting it on a drip feed. I don't know. There's something in that to me where I get 20 pages of a story at once, and that's how I consume the entire story. But getting it all at once, I think that's what the majority of people want. They want to have something more meaty than just 20 pages a month, and I can respect that. I get that. That's not how I like to consume it, but I mean, kids especially just want that. They want Dogman Volume 2, and they want to read that whole thing. And I agree because Dogman's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Dogman is awesome. It was Captain Underpants when I was going to Scholastic book fairs, but
that's why I'm doing comics now. Is because of Captain Underpants.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a lot of preview pages up from issue 3 on the Kickstarter. And I'll be honest, I haven't backed this digitally yet, but I should have, and now I'm remembering that I should have. But I like the preview page where he like punches a house, and then you have that split-second stop where, I mean, the mech is designed like a house, right? Because whatever you punch becomes mech. But then there's that like shot of like MechaTon Mark III, Home Sweet Home, power level, a lifetime of home cooked meals. I think that part is a lot of fun, and is that you see that quite a bit, I'm guessing, throughout the whole series?
Yeah, we want to try and make every mech as unique as possible. So the Mark I was a hot dog cart, and like its power level was a bit of a stomach ache, honestly. Like we wanted to kind of, because I love things like kaiju films and tokusatsu and mech anime.
Yep.
And that kind of ridiculous Dragon Ball Z power level thing where like the power level doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's just an arbitrary number. And so we kind of wanted to lean into the tropes of the genre and give you a hot dog cart, which is probably not the most powerful mech in the world. Right. So like you can kind of tell by its rank and its power description how powerful the mech is without us having to say like it's level 9,000 or something.
Right.
And just kind of tongue in cheek, just kind of wink at the reader and be like, you know what this is. Like we're having fun. The mechs are the aesthetic heart of the series. Derek and Leah, the sibling relationship, is the actual heart, but the mechs are the aesthetic heart. And so we want to give them as much energy and fun and depth as we can without having to actually go into like writing an entire user's manual for each one, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but the book gives off I don't know if this is a dirty word to you, but it's not to me, an all ages feel.
Yeah.
So was is that part of it too? Like you're trying to hit a gambit and you're hoping that kids are going to get into this as well. So we need to, I don't want to say dumb it down, but dumb it down a little bit to kind of let them figure it out.
Well, all ages has become a bit of a dirty word, which is unfortunate. MechaTon is all ages in that I think it literally anyone could pick up the book, understand it, and not feel like talked down to. We don't ever try to intentionally dumb down the book for anyone. MechaTon is definitely, for me especially, not so much Wells, but for me, is like my wheelhouse of tone, where I like writing that hyper energetic, action-packed, kind of over-the-top book that doesn't lean super hard into like Frankenstein the Unconquered themes or hyper violence or things. Like I like that kind of, this is my pocket, my sweet spot. So I'm writing it kind of for me, and to me I'm still not over the age of 8 in my head. So like I don't feel like we're having to dumb down anything. We I mean, of course we're not going to be using extreme curse words or hyper violence in the book, but we're also not going to be like, hey kids, here's the moral of the story or whatever. Like they're people acting like people in a world that is just tonally different than something like Frankenstein. So I think kids young and old would find something to like about MechaTon. Yeah
it's it looks like a lot of fun. And I know I was going to talk about, because you said it was going to Scoop, about exclusive Kickstarter covers, but it sounds like most of these covers are exclusive now, right? So
yeah, we do have so on this campaign specifically for number 4 and 5, we do have Kickstarter exclusive covers, meaning we're only printing the Ila Gonzalez cover and the Lane Lloyd cover for 4 and 5, just for backers for the Kickstarter. We're not going to be taking them to conventions. We're not going to be printing extra. That's just for the Kickstarter. Now, the the Fred Stressing and the Alex Moore variant covers, those will be traveling to conventions with us. They're the B covers. But our exclusive covers do stay exclusive to Kickstarter. Now Scoot is doing an exclusive cover for issue number 1 that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else but comic shops. They've got a brand new A cover by Fernando Pinto, our main series artist, and they're doing a VHS kind of variant cover where
nice.
It looks like an old school clamshell VHS of MechaTon.
Love that.
So those will be exclusive to comic shops. You won't be able to get those anywhere else. So there's quite a bit of options if you're a floppies and a variant cover collector when it comes to MechaTon.
Which I've been on this diatribe recently. It's really important if you're going to publish it somewhere else. Like you need to announcing it's being published at Scout and then having the Kickstarter. Like it's real important that there's something for the Kickstarters. Like they need to be the first ones to have in hand, and they need to be have something special. So I'm really glad to hear you have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said earlier, Kickstarter is the only place you're really going to be getting the floppies. Like 2, 3, 4, 5, you're not going to be able to get those in single issues. You're not going to be able to get those covers and the content between the covers anywhere but the Kickstarter. They'll be in the trade later, but like if you want those floppies, the hollow covers, like that's going to be on the Kickstarter. And
can I say, Mike, because listen, Dalton, we do this show just so I can convince Mike to buy more Kickstarter books. Nobody actually listens to us. This Fred Stressing cover, now there's something familiar about it. You might be able to pick it out, Mike. I love it. It's so great.
They're I was like, especially I was looking at the iridescent foil covers when we were talking about it, but I'm a sucker for variant covers. And especially when they deal with giant monsters and giant robots.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Well, then this is the perfect place.
Yeah, like, right.
That Fred Stressing Fantastic Four 1 homage. Like, yes. I'm a Kirby fanatic, and having our 4 main characters with the main monster from number 5 on the cover, like it was just a match made in heaven. And then, I mean, for any eagle-eyed video game enthusiast, number 4's B cover by Alex Moore is also an homage to Super Metroid. And then I believe Lane Lloyd's Kickstarter exclusive for issue 5 is an homage to the original Transformers movie poster from the 80s.
Oh wow, yeah.
So we're trying.
Now that I pull up Super Metroid's cover, I get it. Oh, I did.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. I really wanted to do it landscape like an old Super Nintendo box, but we couldn't make it work with the comic book. But no, I'm a Metroid fanatic as well. So to get the mech looking like Samus, that's great.
I just started playing Metroid Dread.
Oh, dude, I love that game so much. And I just last week finished the Metroid Prime remaster. Oh man, it's such a pretty game.
So we're gonna go on a Metroid tangent, Mike. I just bought Metroid Prime Remastered. I never played it because I never owned a GameCube. So this will be my first time enjoying it.
That's one of the only ones I played.
Oh man, well, if it's the first time, you're in for a treat. That game, like playing the remaster, because I haven't played it since the GameCube, and playing it again, it felt like I was playing it for the very first time when I was like 10, whatever. They did such a good job on that remaster.
Everybody's told me how good it is. I'm really excited to get my actually sit down and play it. But yeah, cool B covers. That's what we're getting at here.
Yeah, the Fred Stressing, the Alex Moore covers are great. Yeah, the Fred Stressing is really good. I like that classic look. But
he did a variant cover for us for MechaTon number 2 as well. He did a Green Lantern 76 homage, that Neil Adams Green Lantern Green Arrow for number 2. You can actually get that on this campaign as well. We have like a collector's catch-up tier where you can get every single cover for every single issue of MechaTon if you desire.
Yeah, I do see that.
You just jumped into my favorite topic with Kickstarters. Let's talk about tiers and let's talk about extras. So you've got the everything tier that gives you all that stuff. That's fun. Let's skip that one. I want to talk about this one here, and I like the way you phrase it. Adopt a page, Mike. Adopt a page.
Adopt a page.
You're adopted. So you got to give it back to them eventually. Is what this is getting at.
Yeah.
Well,
is this any page in the book that you can get?
Yes. So because Fernando works digitally, we don't actually have the Bristol boards of MechaTon, right? So we can't just like sell you a page of art. However, and we did this on MechaTon number 3, and we did it on Frankenstein number 2. You can adopt a page, which basically for the price of the art, you get to pick whichever page from the book you want. It's a first come, first served basis. And you adopt that page. So within the confines of the book, like when we get to page 15 and you adopted that page, the bottom of the page will say adopted by so-and-so.
Cool.
And then we send you a one-of-a-kind print, 11 by 15 print of that page. So you'll be the only one with that page. You can hang it up, display it, and that page is yours. No return necessary. So, but yeah, so it just gives the readers a chance to kind of like have a piece of the book in a way that a lot of people can't do in an age where traditional art isn't necessarily the main way of producing art anymore. So we wanted to kind of give you a piece of that and a piece of the book. So now MechaTon number 4, there's a piece of you in that book as well.
It's really cool.
And then quickly I'll mention too, right after that is the commission and section, so you can get the Fernando commission as well if anybody collects original art. Mike.
Oh man. And if you look at Fernando's art in this, like it's Fernando has such dynamic range. Like it's so energetic. You can look at the mechs in the book alone and then the character dialogues as well. Dude can hit just about anything out of the park. And so if you're looking for a commission, I think we have Doctor Strange shown on the actual tier page. Dude can draw the hell out of anything. So if you're looking for an original piece of art from Fernando, it's right there for you.
Yeah.
And,
which also comes with the foil tier as well.
Yeah, that's awesome that it comes with both.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And then so add-ons, extras, what kind of goodies can people expect to be getting alongside this or be able to purchase alongside this?
So we do offer a ton of add-ons, including all of our other works. So our horror anthology, Descent into Dread, is offered. Frankenstein the Unconquered is there for you to grab if you'd like. Wells has been in a few anthologies. Those are there. If you want to add on script annotations, which is basically director's commentary from me and Wells about the construction of the issue. We have stickers, trading cards, prints. I think we have in the everything tier. There's that Serge Acuna and Bet Kubrick print available that you can grab as an add-on if you'd like as well. So we have a whole host of things that if you've caught the bug for MechaTon, you can grab the whole thing and just kind of come along for the ride.
Yeah, I can't tell who. Oh, here it is. The standoff print is awesome, and it's got the hot dog cart back on it.
Yes.
So
that's a really cool print.
Yeah, Serge, we've worked with Serge from the beginning of our careers. He did a story for us in Descent into Dread. We love his style. He's actually doing a variant cover for us for an upcoming Kickstarter campaign as well. We love his style. We love working with him. And that standoff print from issue number 1 is a constant eye catcher at conventions as well.
Oh, for sure.
People love it.
I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. I remember we talked about this before, but this is a lot of the different covers and stuff you're showing off. It gets me really excited for the book. You're over halfway funded right now, over 4,000. Almost 140 backers, 17 days to go. But yeah, I would suggest that everybody, gets at this. I mean,
go back it. Everyone just grab. We need 40 people. Just go adopt a page, and we'll have every page adopted. We'll get a great piece of work, and then we'll have a few other people grab some commissions, grab some everything. Just buy us out. Buy us out. It'll be great.
Right. Yeah, that would be ideal.
And you've mentioned a few times conventions. Do you have any conventions coming up that you're going to that you want to talk about?
So I know Wells is going to be at C2E2, not necessarily as a vendor, but he'll be there. It's up in the air if I will be at C2E2 as well. But we have a a few conventions. We have the Arkansas Comic-Con and I believe St. Louis Comic-Con coming up in the summer. And I'm out of Green Bay, so I'm probably going to be at like the Madison cons and the Milwaukee cons in the summer as well. So we nothing's set in stone right now, but for sure we're going to be running the whole gauntlet of conventions throughout the year, especially when convention season starts picking up again, because as of March 5th right now, there's still a ton of snow on the ground in Green Bay. It's not convention season right now.
No, not yet.
Same here in New York.
Yeah, not yet. It will be. Yeah, just gotta wait for that snow to melt. Yeah, Dalton. I'm super excited for this. I have no doubts it'll be funded for sure. And I think we have a pretty good track record there. But I'm excited for the book. Can't wait to read it. And yeah, you're welcome back anytime. If our listeners and our watchers want to follow you and all the stuff you're putting out on Kickstarter and things like that, where can we send them?
Yeah, so the MechaTon number 4 and 5 Kickstarter is running right now. You can grab all 5 issues of the first arc, get caught up, and jump in head first. Any sort of updates and news, you can find me on Twitter at Dalton K. Shannon. My writing partner Wells is at Wells Thomp, THOMP. We also have a newsletter, which is linked in my Twitter, Comics, Cats, and Cocktails, where we give monthly updates on the books we're working on, some comics we've been reading, cocktail recipes, and cats.
Nice.
So it's there's lots of ways to reach out to us, and go back the book already. What are you doing?
I know. I don't know why they're still listening to us.
And I'll just say one more thing to everybody out there. As far as Kickstarters go, you can get the entire series digitally, $18. That's a steal. Physically, the entire series, $30.
That's crazy.
For any book, that's cheap, but for Kickstarter, that is dirt cheap. So
we want to make sure everyone has as much opportunity to jump into the book as possible. So if this is your first time seeing MechaTon, we want to give you as low a barrier of entry as possible. We want everyone to join the gospel of the glove, as it was.
Nice. Nice. I like that.
So everybody out there, as always, those links will be in the show notes down below. So click on that link, check out MechaTon. The book looks like a blast. Dalton, thank you so much for being on the show, taking the time with us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
We look forward to the next Kickstarter, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.